Tommy getting fired isn't just a shocking character moment in Landman, it's a turning point that fundamentally reshapes what the show is about and where it's heading. Up until now, Tommy has been the spine of the series. He's the character who connects the oil fields to the boardroom, the personal to the political, and the moral to the financial. Taking him out of Mtex doesn't remove him from the story. It removes the guardrails that kept everything from spiraling out of control. At its core, Landman has always been about balance. The tension between profit and responsibility, ambition and consequence, loyalty and survival. Tommy embodied that balance, even when he failed at it. He understood the numbers, but he also understood the people. He could sit across from investors 1 minute and workers the next, translating risk into reality. Firing him doesn't just change his trajectory, it destabilizes the entire ecosystem of the show. One of the most immediate consequences is the shift in power at Mtex. With Tommy gone, Cami's authority becomes absolute, at least on paper. But authority without internal resistance is dangerous. Tommy was the only person inside the company willing to say no to Galino, to risky drilling decisions, to shortcuts that endangered lives. Without him, Mtex becomes quieter, more compliant, and far more vulnerable to exploitation. The company may look more functional from the outside, but internally it loses its moral friction. This move also redefines Cami's role in the series. Until now, she's been portrayed as someone trying to fill shoes that don't quite fit while juggling outside pressure and her own ambition. Firing Tommy is her most decisive act, and it forces the audience to reassess her. Is she stepping into true leadership, or is she sacrificing the one person who could protect her from making catastrophic mistakes? The show becomes less about whether she can run Mtex and more about whether she should. Galino's presence looms larger than ever because of this decision. Tommy was the obstacle. He questioned motives, resisted control, and understood the cost of accepting easy money. With him gone, Galino's influence is free to expand unchecked. That doesn't just raise the stakes for Mtex, it darkens the tone of the show. The future becomes more transactional, more ruthless, and far less human. From a storytelling perspective, Tommy being fired shifts Landman away from corporate drama towards something more volatile. He's no longer constrained by titles, rules, or internal politics. That freedom makes him unpredictable. He knows too much, cares too deeply, and now has nothing to lose. Characters like that don't fade into the background, they become catalysts. This also reframes Tommy's relationships across the board. His dynamic with Cami is no longer professional tension, it's personal fallout. Trust is broken. Lines are drawn. Any interaction between them now carries weight and resentment. With Cooper, the stakes increase as well. Cooper loses his strongest advocate inside Mtex, making his position more precarious and forcing him to choose between loyalty and survival. The firing also changes how the show treats accountability. While Tommy was in power, bad decisions could be debated, delayed, or softened. Now, decisions will land harder and faster. There's no buffer between executive ambition and real-world consequence. If something goes wrong, an offshore disaster, a financial collapse, or another act of violence, there will be no one left inside Mtex who can honestly say they tried to stop it. Tonally, Landman becomes more cynical after Tommy's firing. The idea that doing the right thing can still matter takes a hit. The show begins to ask a darker question: what happens when conscience is removed from the system? This shift doesn't weaken the series, it deepens it. It forces characters and viewers alike to confront the reality that good intentions don't survive in environments driven purely by power and profit. At the same time, Tommy's firing opens the door for the show to explore themes it couldn't fully touch before. Revenge, exposure, whistleblowing, and moral reckoning all become possible. Tommy isn't the type to walk away quietly. Whether he fights back directly or indirectly, his absence from Mtex ensures that the consequences of its choices won't stay hidden forever. For the series as a whole, this moment signals that Landman is no longer content to sit in the gray. The lines are sharpening. Characters are choosing sides. The safety net is gone. The show moves from tension to inevitability, not asking if things will go wrong, but when. Ultimately, what Tommy getting fired means for Landman is evolution. The story grows more dangerous, more personal, and more unforgiving. It removes the illusion that systems can be fixed from the inside and suggests that sometimes change only comes when everything breaks. Tommy may be out of Mtex, but Landman has never needed him inside the system to matter. In fact, by pushing him out, the show makes him more powerful than ever. Because in a world built on silence and compliance, the most dangerous man is the one who no longer has anything to protect.